Welcome back to the show, everybody. Take a look at the numbers while we run the headlines here today. Arrest warrants issued. We're going to get into it. This week, we got congressional hearings. We're going to talk about it. And Digital Chamber of Commerce and Amicus cure status. We're going to talk about that, too. And we got what to expect from summary judgment in just 5 days. You're going to want every bit of that. The IMF, Asheesh, Birla. We got all kinds of stuff coming up. What about Saudi Arabia joining BRICS coalition? Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow us on TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. It is $1.031 trillion right now for the cryptocurrency market cap. Shout out to Coin Paprika for the numbers there. Bitcoin 20,100 plus, Ethereum 1,500 plus right now, almost $1,600. XRP is 33 cents this morning. Let's take a look at the news, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Fed is engaged in controlled demolition of the global economy, says Rob Licker. I mean, I'm inclined to agree with him. What's the plan to rise from the ashes, he says. Now, we're going to get more into that in just a second, but I think he's asking the right question. Again, I say, I don't believe XRP was designed to be something that would be accepted while the economy was doing well. I think XRP and everything about it was designed understanding that there was going to be a need for some kind of new payment rails, decentralized exchange, everything else to go along with it, bridge currency and the rest of it. Let's get into this because the idea of what is going on around the world, there's uncertainty everywhere. You guys know I work with Glint. I love being a customer even more. This is Jason Cousins who says, read how Asia's wealthy are protecting themselves with global uncertainty increases. It says Glint Pay democratizes access to gold, said that is not just the preserve of the wealthy. You can buy as little as 1 cent of gold in the Glint app. Download it and try it now. And I'm telling you, I love using this app. It's what I use everywhere I go now, and I absolutely love it. I was in Vegas at the Apex Developer Convention. I used it the whole time I was there, no doubt about it. Link underneath the video. Don't mess around. Give it a try. Arrest warrants issued, just like I told you. South Korean prosecutors investigating the collapse of Terra Luna have issued arrest warrant for Terraform Labs co-founder and chief executive officer Kwon Dao-hyung, and also known as Dao Kwon. We will keep you posted as to more of that develops right here. If you'd like to learn more about earning yields with Kava and Curve, you can check out this article. It is a step-by-step right here on my Twitter, or you can go to medium.com and pull it up, how to earn with Kava Curve Pool, a high APY Curve LP on Kava. Learn how to provide ETH stablecoins to a Curve liquidity pool on the Kava network to obtain high APYs. I tell you, check out the link underneath the video. They're not messing around. I tell you, Kava has been getting it done. They haven't slowed down one bit. The leader in the Cosmos ecosystem. Link underneath the video. This is a quick clip from Digital Asset Investor here. It's only like 40 some seconds, but take a listen because it says you're right 100% right in your recent interview. Warren David said most of the industry took Bill Hinman's speech as guidance from the SEC, but it was much worse. Jay Clayton lied to your face. He knew you were being misled by what they are now calling Hinman's personal opinion. Take a listen.
Some of it is by enforcement action. I mean, one of the biggest ones in the space has been the SEC's enforcement action against XRP and Ripple. And that has a profound impact in the U.S. And a lot of people speculate as to what was really going on there. I think most of the industry took Bill Hinman's speech as guidance from the SEC.
Yeah, fair point. The Howey test has been there, and I appreciate, frankly, Director Hinman last week clarifying that Ether is not viewed as a security. There had been some concern after some of your remarks that everything looks like it fits with the Howey test, and
When you're raising capital for a project,
which is exactly what Ethereum did, and it's at this point Jay Clayton, I believe, is lying. I believe personally he's lying right here, right? He should have told him, said, oh, no. Actually, that was Bill Hinman's personal opinions, what he should have been saying, right?
Right.
So instead, he decides to perpetrate the fraud. That's what I believe went on right there, myself personally. And we're going to have congressional hearings. We're going to see Gary Gensler before the panels and the committees. We're going to see. Starts tomorrow. We'll keep you posted. This is Jim right here, Jim Filan. And I tell you, Chamber of Digital Commerce, Perry and Borders Association has filed a motion for leave to file an amicus brief. The motion, memorandum of law, declaration of Lily Tesler, and amicus brief are below. Now, we're going to get into that because it's actually right here. I went through the whole thing, and they are filing to participate just as John Deaton did. Oh, excuse me. I have a yawn right there. But as you can see, all of it goes through, and there's all the pages involved, and you can read them if you'd like. It is on my Twitter. But for the sake of moving, we got a lot more to go over. Let's know that the Digital Chamber of Commerce is filing this time, and hopefully it doesn't get rejected. They will be participating in that. Oh, well, there's no reason to believe that they won't, right? We'll see what goes on with that. We'll keep you brief. But what is to come of the summary judgment? And Jim realizes from all the back and forth on Twitter that none of us really know what we're really going to look for, what to really look for, or what to expect, rather. And he says very quickly right here, since I posted the summary judgment briefing and sealing schedule, which is at the end of this thread, I'm reading statements and hearing from people regarding what we will see on Monday, September 19th. It is important that you understand what you will and won't see on Monday, September 19th. And it is laid out in the parties' joint scheduling proposal that was approved by District Judge Torres. The proposal is very specific regarding what will be made public and when. On September 19th, we will only see redacted versions of the briefs. We will not see the actual declarations, exhibits, Rule 56.1 statements. Those will be released after a decision on the omnibus briefing regarding sealing described at the end of the approved proposal. So he goes on to say here, the briefs will be long and we will see references and citations to the declarations, exhibits, and Rule 56.1 statements in the brief, but we won't see those actual documents until after a decision on the omnibus briefing regarding sealing. And then obviously, if you follow the thread on my Twitter, here he has the actual posting, right? It says, it is possible that a ruling on that pending Daubert sealing motions, which overlap with summary judgment sealing issues, could affect this schedule. But as of now, this is the projected timing. So there you have that. So we got you up to date on to that. Now let's go on to this. Let's change gears here. This is the IMF to asking if we know what stable coins are. Well, that's interesting. Because we just covered the week before, and in this morning's video as a reminder, that the IMF is also putting out reports about adopting new payment platforms, which is pretty damn compelling. And now we all need to know what stable coins are according to the IMF. I took down and clipped out of this video for all of us a condensed version of what was really said in this video. And I want to play that for you now. And I added in Asheesh Birla at the end for you to get, I believe, what is the answer of why it's all so important. Let's listen.
After the global financial crisis, trust in banks was at an all-time low. Crypto assets were created as an alternative way to make payments, democratizing and decentralizing finance. Basically taking power away from banks and putting it in the hands of the people. The idea was that they were going to fundamentally change the world of finance with their decentralized ledger technology, the blockchain. So, what's the catch? Without backing assets or central authority, crypto assets seem to be really, really volatile. That's great if you want to gamble, not so great if you want to pay for something. Because how can you really pay for something with an asset that isn't a stable store of value? Enter the stablecoin, a crypto asset built on the blockchain, but usually with a centralized issuer. While the value of crypto assets like Bitcoin is determined by supply and demand, stablecoins aim to have value by being pegged to another asset in one of two ways. The first is by backing the stablecoin with another asset, like the dollar, the euro, or even a commodity like gold. In theory, keeping a one-to-one parity. But
or even a commodity like gold. Just wanted to put it out there.
wait a minute, doesn't this go against the founding premise of crypto? Maybe. Some authorities are looking to regulate the bigger stablecoins the way they do banks and other traditional financial institutions. Now, here's the real riddle. If these stablecoins are regulated like banks, don't they end up becoming the banks that crypto assets were meant to replace?
The government seems to be also waking up to this notion that, hey, listen, we need to get moving here on creating proper regulation. There's also a lot of regulation, at least talk, around the stablecoin aspect of it. And how great would it be if every bank in the United States issued a stablecoin on a blockchain? Now that would connect it to real world society and solve real world problems.
Yes, it would, wouldn't it? And, to the point that Asheesh and the IMF are making here about stablecoins, and the real riddle in all of this to the IMF is that if we regulate stablecoins, isn't that exactly bringing the bank into this crypto world that the cryptos were designed to obfuscate? Isn't that exactly paraphrasing what the man just asked? That's exactly right. Which is why I tell you over and over, and I'm going to say it again right now, stablecoin legislation is as important to the cryptocurrency digital asset space as the Telecommunications Act was for the birth of the internet and the trillions and trillions of dollars that flooded into the internet after that legislation was passed. I believe even going a step further to what Asheesh Birla said, I believe gives the answer to exactly what's being asked here. It is about relevance and control. That's why stablecoin legislation is so important. It's not just about being able to know where we went or providing us with a legitimate dollar, albeit a stablecoin or a CBDC, right? It's about staying relevant and powerful and in control. And to go a step further than that, look at what's happening when we pull back. Maybe this is why the IMF is talking about, do we know what stable coins are? Maybe stable coins are the litmus test for the real players who will release a CBDC in the year or two to come. This originally came from Rob right here. Shout out to Rob and shared by Digital Asset Investor, and it is fantastic. Let's take a look at it. What if suddenly Saudi Arabia announces, thanks for the memories, USA, petrodollars synthetic global demand ends abruptly. Sellers of the US dollar explodes the world over. US dollars come flooding back into America. Flood of new dollars drives hyperinflation in the US. Federal Reserve unable to raise interest rates enough. US financial markets and economic activity crashes. This scenario in these first 7 points, I believe, make enough argument not only for moving to digital money, for being able to account for what's going on in the world, and there are pros and there are cons. Believe me, the libertarian is screaming right now inside of me. But here's what I'll say. If these things happen, just those first 7 points right there tell me we got enough on that docket, those bullet points, to suggest that we would need to be in a new gold-backed system, which I believe may reprice gold to be able to back this new system, which is all the government dollars of the world again, and to use things like XRP and XLM to be able to move these things and commodities like gold around the world for instant value movement and settlement. Not just instant messaging, not just instant payment, but instant settlement. And the system really wouldn't go away. It would just get shored up and become stronger again if you backed it by gold after repricing gold. And listen, they repriced gold before. It happened. I know it was so long ago, people think it can't happen again, but I wouldn't take it off the table, because it has happened before. When I look at what the IMF is doing, they call for a new Bretton Woods moment. when I look at what, the possibility of BRICS is doing and that coalition around the world uniting to create a new international reserve currency there, it is not just being talked about. They're doing it. So we are definitely watching something new develop. How far it will go and to what iteration it lands on, we don't know. But I tell you, I think we're right to follow this. And I can only hope at the end of the day, as all the research I've done shows me that Ripple and XRP have one hell of a chance to be smack dab in the middle of it all. Now, that's not financial advice from me or Rob Cunningham or anyone else. But it is my digital perspectives. That's going to do it for me. Hit the like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. I can't wait to see your thoughts on this one. I'll catch all of you on the next one.